Sometimes the deepest pain doesn't come from illness. It comes from silence, especially when that silence is left by your own children. You give love, and what comes back is nothing. Not even a simple, "How are you?" But I want to sit with you for a moment, not as a doctor or therapist, but as someone who's seen how peace can grow from heartache. These 7 tips aren't magic, but they can help you feel steadier, calmer, and more like yourself again. Let's start with something I see so often. It's this habit of blaming yourself when your children grow distant. I can't tell you how many older folks sit across from me and say, "It must be something I did." And I understand that. When there's no explanation, our minds try to fill in the blanks. But here's what I gently remind them. That kind of thinking wears you down. It doesn't bring peace. In fact, it makes you carry a weight that might not even be yours. When you don't know why they've pulled away, blaming yourself only creates more hurt. And that kind of emotional strain, it shows up in your sleep, your appetite, even your heart rate. I want you to know, you don't have to carry it all alone. There's a man I worked with named Harold, 72, from Houston, Texas. His wife passed years ago, and he raised his son by himself. They were close, but after one family argument, the calls just stopped. At first, Harold checked his phone constantly, reread old texts, blamed himself for everything. He told me one day, "Maybe I failed him somehow." And my heart broke a little hearing that. But the turning point came when Harold said, "I'm tired of punishing myself." That's when he did something simple but powerful. He wrote his son a letter. Not to demand answers or rehash the fight, but just to say thank you for the good memories. No pressure, no expectations, just kindness. And whether his son replies or not, Harold felt something lift inside him. What helps many people in his situation is to write a letter, not with anger, not to fix everything, but just to speak your heart with peace. Say what you appreciated. Share a memory. That letter isn't just for them, it's for your healing too. You don't have to solve everything. You don't even have to understand it all. But you can give yourself the gift of letting go of blame. You've done your best, and that matters more than you know. Here's another truth I often share. Waiting can quietly drain the joy out of your days. I've seen it again and again. Older adults sitting by the phone, checking the clock, hoping for a knock at the door that never comes. It's heartbreaking. The longer we wait, the more it feels like life is on hold, like we can't make plans or enjoy the moment because, what if they call? That kind of waiting wears down your spirit, and over time, it can lead to sadness, restlessness, even physical fatigue. You deserve more than that. You deserve to live, not just wait. There's a woman I think about often, Mary, 68, from Akron, Ohio. After her daughter moved to another state, Mary kept the house spotless and dinner ready every Sunday, just in case. She'd skip her walking group and turn down outings because she didn't want to miss a possible visit. But weeks turned into months, and she grew tired, anxious, and lonely. One day, she told me, "I don't even remember what makes me happy anymore." That was a turning point. We talked about letting go, not of her love for her daughter, but of the pressure she was putting on herself. She started saying yes to little things again, lunch with a neighbor, gardening, reading outside. Slowly, her days started to feel like hers again. One of the simplest ways to begin is to plan one small thing each day that's just for you. Maybe it's calling a friend. Maybe it's making your favorite breakfast or going to the library. Something that brings you a little spark, no matter how small. Your life isn't on pause. It didn't stop when your child stopped calling. It's still moving, still offering you moments of light. Even a quiet day can feel full if it belongs to you. Another gentle truth I often share is this: giving your children space can feel painful, but sometimes it's the most loving thing you can do. I've met many parents who mean well. They reach out often, send messages, keep checking in, but they don't realize that their children may feel overwhelmed or even pulled away by the constant contact. And I know how unfair that sounds. After all, it comes from love. But love, especially as kids grow older, sometimes means stepping back, not forward. When communication feels one-sided, the instinct is to try harder, but that can accidentally push them further away. That's why respecting their space, even when it hurts, can actually protect the bond you still hope to keep. I once worked with Rachel, 70 years old, living in Sarasota, Florida. Her son had started a new job, had a young child, and she missed him dearly. She'd text him every day, funny pictures, updates, little reminders to call. But the more she reached out, the quieter he became. One day, after several weeks of silence, she asked, "Am I doing something wrong?" We looked through their old messages together, and I gently pointed out how often she was reaching out without a reply. It was hard for her to see, but she decided to try something new. She sent one message. "I know life is busy. I just want you to know I'm here when you're ready to talk. No pressure." And then she waited. It took almost a month, but one evening he called, just to say he missed her. That small shift, giving space with love, changed everything. What often helps in moments like this is sending just one simple note. "I understand you're busy. I'm here and I love you. No rush." Then give it time. Let them come back. When they're ready, not when you're hurting. It's okay to miss someone and still give them room. It's not giving up, it's giving grace. Sometimes love is quiet, and in that quiet, trust can grow. Sometimes, what makes the pain sharper is feeling like all the love you give just disappears into thin air. You send a birthday card. No reply. You offer help. No thank you. You check in and all you get is silence. It's natural to feel frustrated or even taken for granted. After all, we're human. We want to feel that our care means something. But as the years go on, I've learned something important. When you give love without expecting anything back, you keep your own heart from growing hard. You don't try it to get a response. You do it to stay true to the kindness inside you. I remember Tom, a 75-year-old grandfather from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Every month he'd send a little money to his grandkids, $20 here, a book there. For years, they used to call to say thanks, but lately nothing. No calls, no notes. He started to feel invisible. One day he told me, "Why bother? It's like I don't even exist to them anymore." That's a tough place to be. We talked about where that giving came from, and he said, "I just want them to feel remembered." So I asked, "What if you still did that but let go of the need for a reply?" He thought about it, then decided to keep sending gifts, but now with a different note. Just a small something to brighten your day. No need to write back. Just be well. It didn't change their behavior overnight, but Tom felt better, lighter, less hurt, more at peace with himself. One thing that helps in times like this is to offer something simple, warm and open-ended. A short message like, "Thinking of you, no pressure to respond, just wanted to send love," can mean more than you know. Love isn't a transaction, it's a gift. And when you give it freely, you protect your own heart from bitterness. Even when it feels one-sided, your kindness still matters. It still counts. Something I say often is this: just because someone shares your blood doesn't mean they're the only ones who can share your life. When children drift away, it can leave a heavy emptiness. You start to feel like you've lost your sense of family. But here's the truth I've seen time and time again. Your heart still has the capacity to build new connections, to welcome new faces, to feel part of something. Loneliness is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign that you still long for meaning, and that's something to honor, not hide. I think of Linda, 67, from San Diego. Her only daughter moved across the country and slowly stopped calling. Holidays got quiet. No more weekend coffee chats. At first, Linda closed in on herself. She stopped going out. She felt embarrassed, like she was the only one going through this. But one day, while shopping at the farmer's market, a woman, her age, struck up a conversation about peaches. They ended up chatting for 20 minutes. That same woman invited her to a book club, and Linda almost said no. "I'm not really the social type," she told me. But something nudged her, and she went. That group became her anchor. They laughed, cooked together, even took a day trip to the coast. Linda told me, "They're not my family by birth, but they feel like family by heart." One of the kindest things you can do for yourself is to join something, anything, that brings people together. A walking group, a church circle, a library event, even an online space where folks your age share stories or hobbies. You're not too old to make new connections, far from it. You're allowed to build a new kind of family, one made of warmth, shared laughter, and mutual care. The people who will cherish your company might be waiting just beyond the next hello. Sometimes the hardest part isn't just missing your child, it's holding in all the feelings that come with it. When you don't have anyone to talk to, those thoughts can pile up fast. You replay old conversations, imagine new ones, wonder what you did wrong, and slowly all that emotional weight starts to take a toll on your sleep, your mood, even your body. It can feel like there's no safe place to let it out, but there is. And sometimes it's not another person, it's a simple notebook and a quiet moment to breathe. I had a client named Dan, 74, from Des Moines, Iowa. After his youngest son cut ties during a family dispute, Dan didn't want to burden anyone with how much it hurt. He kept everything inside. Over time, he stopped gardening, stopped walking, stopped sleeping well. When we first talked, he said, "I just don't know where to put all of it." So I suggested something simple, a daily journal, just 5 minutes a day. At first, he was hesitant. He'd never written like that before, but he gave it a try. He started each day by answering 3 questions. What am I feeling today? What brought me a little peace or joy? And what do I want to let go of? After a few weeks, he told me, "I still miss my son, but now I feel like I can breathe again." His words weren't for anyone else, they were for him, and they made a difference. One of the easiest ways to start is to keep a notebook by your bed and write 1 page each morning or evening. You don't need to worry about grammar or spelling. Just let your thoughts move from your heart to the page. Even if no one else is listening, you can listen to yourself. Your feelings are real. They matter. And giving them space, even quietly, even privately, is one of the most loving things you can do. Here's something I hope you'll hear with a gentle heart. Being a good parent doesn't always mean you'll be loved the way you hoped. That's one of the hardest truths I've had to share with the people I work with. You can give everything, your time, your patience, your best years, and still your child might choose distance, silence, or even blame. It's not fair. And it's not a reflection of your worth. But I want to remind you, the love you gave wasn't wasted. Even if they don't see it now, it shaped them, and it still says something beautiful about who you are. I think of Ben, 71, from Reno, Nevada. He raised 3 kids, worked 2 jobs to support them, never missed a school play or doctor's appointment. One of his sons was always distant, always quick to criticize. As the years passed, that son cut off contact entirely. Ben tried reaching out a few times, but eventually stopped. One day, he sat in my office and said, "I must have failed him." I looked him in the eye and said, "No, you were there, you showed up, you stayed kind even when it was hard." Over time, Ben started to believe that. He didn't rewrite the past. He didn't pretend the pain wasn't there. But he began to see his effort, his loyalty, his quiet strength, not as mistakes, but as proof that he had been a loving father. And that gave him peace. What often helps is to write down a list of all the things you did do, the meals, the bedtime, stories, the sacrifices, the hugs. Keep that list somewhere close. Let it remind you that you gave your best. You are not defined by someone else's reaction. You are defined by the love you gave and continue to give. That love is still real. And it still matters deeply. If something in this video spoke to your heart, I'd love to hear it in the comments. You're not alone in this. So many others have felt the same ache, the same questions, and by sharing, we help each other heal. Make sure to subscribe and tap the little bell so you don't miss the next message made just for you. And remember, you are stronger than you think. You are not forgotten. And life still has gentle, beautiful chapters waiting for you to open them.